Hey folks, thanks for joining me today. In today's tutorial, we're going to be painting a loon. You can usually hear them at the dusk or very early in the morning singing their most famous tune that they have that everybody knows what it is when you hear it. So I am using a stone from the Happy Dotting Company molds. This is mold number 2. It's probably my most favorite size. I use it quite often. And I had painted it black. Then I put on 2 circles with my compass. And now I am painting the inner circle white. I let that dry, and then I come in and I sponge it, and then I give it another sponge again. Now, so I kind of made a big boo-boo. So what happened was I thought I was pressing record when I was actually pressing stop. And then when I was pressing stop, I was actually pressing record. So I recorded an hour and 7 minutes of nothing. It just basically was staring at this rock once the blue was put on. So I'm going to try to explain it while I am outlining the gold for my frame. So what I did was I used ocean blue from DecoArt, and I put it on, and while it was wet, I threw in a little bit of white, and I kept my brush strokes going in the same direction, back and forth, until I got what I wanted to be the sky and what I wanted to be the water, because I wanted to have the loon to have a reflection on the water. But I didn't want to go all the way to the edges of the circle, the inner circle, because I wanted it to look a little bit like watercolor. So that's why I did it this way, and that's how I did it. I do apologize for not being able to show you. Trust me, I went through that hour and 7 minutes looking for anything that I could show you, and there was just nothing. It was exactly what you see now. Anyway, so I put on the gold rims, I guess, for the frames. I did the inner circle and then I did the outer circle. Now that it's dry completely, I can sketch on the loon and where I want it positioned, and then I can start adding some paint. Now, with this one, very simple colors. I used black and white, and I just mixed them together to get the color that I wanted. And I used ocean blue for the back, glorious gold, all by DecoArt, and then I threw in a little bit of berry red because a loon's eye is red. So you'll see as I go along all of these colors that come together, and it's amazing what you can create with the minimal amount of colors. Me using mostly black and white, mixing them together to give different colors of gray, and then just adding in the accents as I go along. So because of a lot of it being white, I didn't want the blue to be shining through, so I drew on my sketch and then I threw on some white so that I've got another base coat to work with, and let it dry, threw in a little bit of what the reflection would be, and now I'm going in with my fine lining brush and the black, and I'm outlining where I need it to be outlined. This will give me my details on where I need the different colors to be, and it's just basically, throwing on the color, or sorry, the outlines of where the pieces of the body go. Does that make sense? And then I can do any fix-ups that I need to do, and that's what I'm doing here. If you're interested in making your own fine lining brush, there is a description. There is a link in the description that can take you to show you how to make your own fine lining brush. I've actually got a few different sizes that I like to use. This one in particular, it's got a little bend in it, and I really like that because it helps me do curves and corners and circles and things like that. All I did to get that effect on that brush is I left it in some warm water overnight. and in a cup. So where it sits at the bottom of the cup, and then the bristles sort of bend away from your handle, it stays that way. So that's why I do that. I actually discovered that by accident. So my accidents are things to teach you. So yeah, so I did that for this one, and it is a little bit bigger than my other fine lining brush, which has only got maybe 10 hairs on it. And I just cut them down to the size that I want them to be. And that little one that I'm not using right now, it comes in handy for doing really, really fine detail stuff. So you can make them any size you want, use them for whatever you need them to be used for. At this point in the stage of this painting, I should have really switched brushes into a bigger brush so that I could get more coverage quickly. But I really wanted to keep going with the same brush so that I could sort of manipulate, because in this on his chest he has black and white, and that's why I was doing that. Anyway, so I'm going to add a few more details. I'm using the white, and I put it on while that black was still wet. And I am now doing his belly, or his chest. His belly's on the water. You can't see his belly. So yeah, so I'm just going to continue doing this, and I'm just going to take this opportunity to thank you all for watching and for stopping in and visiting with me while I paint this little loon. And I would encourage you to let me know that you like the video by giving me a thumbs up. If you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to please subscribe. I try to post every Friday, and I try to bring something new every time. And if you don't want to miss anything, make sure you click that little bell, and that will give you a notification every time I do post something new. And I've got some stuff that is coming up over the next few weeks, so definitely stick around. I'm going to try some new techniques that I've been watching on YouTube, and I'm going to try to do them myself, and hopefully find a way to teach you. But I'm not going to tell you what they are, because it's going to be a surprise. So I have been really busy lately. School is out, so I don't have to contend with school buses on the road anymore. What else? Busy at work. Been doing lots of stuff there. And yeah, just being really busy painting and doing a few craft shows here and there. It's been a very, very busy year so far. Let me know in the comments what you've been up to, or maybe what you've got planned. If you've got any really fun things to do, let me know if you have any family reunions. I have one that we usually do in August, and I look forward to it every year because it's the only time I really get to see my family, in the way of aunts and uncles and cousins. And we always get together just to hang out around the fire. We have a buffet style, kind of like a lunch, but everybody brings something. And it's just a wonderful way to spend an afternoon, and which usually goes into the evening. And I just love it. I have so much fun hanging out with my family. And like I said, it's like one of the only times I really get to see everybody. So it's a lot of fun. So let me know if you have a family tradition like that you get together with your family. So you'll see now I'm making the loon's head a little bit gray, and all I'm doing is just adding black and white. You can see on my brush I've kind of got both black and white on there. I'm just basically making the head, it's a little bit shiny. So, and then these are the little sort of ticks that are on underneath his chin, and they come down onto his chest, and they're also on his back. So all I did was I used my brush and I laid it sideways to get that those little dots there, because they're more like little ovals or little ticks. And that's what I wanted to do, or that's the best way that I could do it to get the shape that I wanted. And now I'm just putting on some light shades here and there because I really want it to look like there's some light shining on them. And another thing too is if you want to get dimension, it's the way that you curve those little tick marks. So you would have seen that I did sort of small at the beginning and then I went bigger, but then I kind of curved them while I was going. And what that does is it gives the illusion that there is like a raised area, and that's the front part of the bird. And the back part I left as black, and I'm just adding all of these little white dots all over his back because that's what's on top of his wings. And a really cool thing about loons is that they can swim underwater and they can hold their breath. And so they do that for hunting and fishing, but they also do it for hunting and fishing. They only do fishing, but I guess they hunt the fish. But they also do it to get away from any predators. So they will dive under the water, and then the next thing you know, they pop up like on the other side of the lake. And how they swam that far so quickly is beyond me. But that's what they do to get away from predators. So that's just a little fact about this pretty little loon. And they are very skittish. Like they don't really like to hang around. You can't get too close to them. As soon as they feel threatened, they disappear under the water and they pop out, like I said, way far away from where you are. But it's very, very interesting. So to do the reflection, what I'm doing is I'm just adding on the black and the white parts, but I'm being very hazard with it. Is that the right word? I'm not being as smooth because the water has ripples in it, right? So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm going to add a little bit more of the detail. Then I just need to add his eye, and I'll be using that berry red for his eye. But before I do that, I've got to make like a socket or something to go around it. So that's what I'm doing here, adding a little circle. Gotta add his little nose breather hole on his beak, and then it's time for the eye. And that's it. So remember, folks, life is what you make it, so get creative.